Post-game now in Oakville with Derek Wills. 5-3 your final for the Marlies over the Hamilton Bulldogs. Where do we begin with this one, Derek? A lot of goals in that one, highs and lows. Why don't you just start from there?
Not a great start for the Hamilton Bulldogs. You could definitely tell the Toronto Marlies were a little more ready to play early in the first period, took that early 2-0 lead with a couple of quick goals, but the Hamilton Bulldogs did a great job bouncing back and getting into the game. They had it tied at 2, and then they tied it up at 3 when they fell behind for a second time and just couldn't pull it out in the end. But I thought it was a very entertaining contest in front of a loud crowd here in Oakville, and the Toronto Marlies had a lineup that will more closely resemble what we see from them in the regular season than the Hamilton Bulldogs did, who maybe only had a half dozen players or so that have a chance to make this hockey team, or who will make the hockey team out on the ice tonight. So I thought all in all it was a good night for the Dogs, and a lot of guys were out there battling for a roster spot.
Now, you mentioned an entertaining game. We'll get to that in just a moment, but it was interesting, as you said, to see down 2 goals and then tied and then up a goal and tied again. Do you feel like there was a turning point for them?
Well, I thought there were a lot of different turning points in the hockey game, but the game-winning goal came late in the third period, so I suppose that would be the ultimate turning point tonight. But, a lot of guys really did show well for the Hamilton Bulldogs in this game. 3 guys, including 2 defensemen, picked up a pair of points each, and getting some offense from the defense is certainly going to be something the Hamilton Bulldogs will be expecting this season, and something that's going to help them win some hockey games. So it was great to see rookie Dalton Thrower pick up a pair of points, veteran Joel Chouinard pick up a pair of points, and then Akeem Aliou continued to do what he's done throughout training camp, and that's be, if not the best Hamilton Bulldog on the ice, certainly one of them. He had a couple of assists as well. So a lot of positive signs for the Hamilton Bulldogs in this game. And another was the play, I thought, of goaltender Mike Condon. Bit of a shaky start for him, but I thought he bounced back beautifully in the second and third periods. And like I said, guys are fighting for jobs right now. And you could see that level of competition. You could see that intensity on the ice. And it made for a great preseason hockey game between these two teams. The first of 14, up to 21 games between Hamilton and Toronto this season, and we saw the AHL's Battle of Ontario at its preseason finest here tonight.
Derek, you're making perfect segues for me. The fighting, the battling, that's exactly what we saw tonight. Do you think it was a little bit of preseason action, or is this really what we're going to see with this rivalry going this season, all these fights?
We'll see a little bit of it during the season. Kelsey Wilson got in 2 fights tonight. He's trying to earn a spot on the Hamilton Bulldogs roster. He's a former member of the Toronto Marlies, so I think he wanted to try to show his former teammates a thing or two, but there's going to be some fights through the series. These two teams will meet one more time in the preseason, 12 times during the regular season, and they're just going to throw more and more fuel on the fire of this rivalry, which is already one of the best rivalries in the American Hockey League. But at the end of the day, fighting usually doesn't win you hockey games. It can turn the tide in a game from time to time, but I think you'll see well-timed fights, but not a lot of them. I don't think you're going to see many more line brawls between the Bulldogs and the Marlies this season, but like I said, guys are trying to make an impression on the coaches. For some guys, that's scoring a goal. For other guys, that's setting up a goal. For some guys, that's dropping the gloves and standing up for their teammates. So I think that we saw a guy like Kelsey Wilson trying to make an impact in this game tonight. He tried to do it through 2 fights. I don't know if the coaches are happy with him or unhappy with him, but he tried to make his presence felt.
All right, Derek, thank you very much for your input, as always.